Okay.
Fantastic. All right, cool. Again, feel absolutely free to interrupt me at any time. Yeah, much rather prefer this to be a discussion.
What's
We'll
up?
start with the. I'm saying like anytime, like try to like feel free to interrupt me and talk, because much rather I prefer this to be a discussion than like a lecture. We'll start with a little bit of background on Perl in general.
Quick question.
Go on.
So according to during the thing, someone was mentioning Sam's aggression and how like even if he's lacking confidence, he still does it.
Sim, yeah.
Is that would you recommend to play that way, or is that just depending on how you are
It depends on who you are,
and the
especially if
team
you're playing
form?
for ranked. I would say it's generally a good habit to be aggressive until you're playing for something that is incredibly important, like a VCT game or like VCT playoffs games, for example.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, especially as a duelist, it always pays off. If you're climbing, 100% worth playing for aggression, playing for pushing people, because it makes you better much faster than playing like passive does.
100%.
So until, which I'm guessing like you're not there. So like until you get into VCT and it's like it's your team's
Yeah.
qualifications on the line, I would say keep playing aggressive at 100%. Sorry. Okay. So a bit background on the map. Okay. So again, why I want to do this review, because me personally, I want to understand this map a little bit better as well. History. Okay, don't tell anyone, but I actually came up with this comp before anyone else did. But this was the previous meta.
What?
Like I think it's on my profile somewhere.
Bro, it's just that insane.
W coach predicting the future.
This was yeah. So I was telling people and we were cooking this shit, which became meta. Apart from maybe this was Jet. But this composition became meta eventually. Like 3 months later in VCT when Loud and stuff started running it. Okay, but this is what we had. And the idea was 3 people would control the entire map. Like the problem with Pearl is that the map is extremely big, and there are places where, like for example, if you're pushed up here and the B attack happens, if you're a defender and you pushed up here and the B attack happens, there is no way for you to actually make it to the sites without losing like a bunch of space or like having your fights like happen on a disadvantage. So basically the map is too big and rotations are too big. There's lack of connectors, like this, for example, or this. There are just no connectors in these 2 lanes. So mid is extremely separate from the ends of B main and A main. What that means, it means that rotations are stupidly long compared to other maps. Okay, so to combat that, like the immediate solution to something like this is, if rotations are difficult, we should play for map control. Okay, because if we have map control, what I can do is I can run, right? Like if I have like map control until here already and I'm pushed up like B main and it seems like B isn't gonna work, but my lurker or somehow I have control over this, I can just book it. Granted, no one here can hear me. I can, and especially if I have Neon or Yoru, which were again 2 really great agents, have been, you can rotate faster, right? So that's the hard counter for the map's faults. Okay, and for that map control, we used to play 2 controllers, right? It's very obvious, right? Controllers that control the map. 2 controllers and this guy. This guy we used to play because there was this really nice node on the map that you could keep this guy here, and she would give you deep information of like both mid and this, right? And this was extremely strong because you would have like another flash regenerate for retaking B side as well. Because one agent, only one initiator, could essentially give you information for half the map, right? So this became extremely like good. Right? That topped up with 2 smokers, like you could have all the map control you want, right? something that I was trying to do apart rather than the jet was like I knew that there's a lack of initiator. We don't have enough initiator utility, so I was trying to replace, add some initiator utility by adding a boom bot for some added information, right? Which people tried to play the jet for instead because long gall blinds were really much better as well. I don't think jet is better on attack. I think raise is, but map is very like lots of long line of sights, so op is really good, especially for B. It becomes essential. So I think this is good. Okay, now that this is no longer there, especially the sky disappears because of all the initiator changes, especially mostly just the flash not being there again has completely fucked her, right? So she's just not viable anymore, which means you need two initiators, because if no one else can really get as much value, maybe you can run a fade here, right? And then she does the eye here, but if you don't do the eye here, if you're forced to use the eye mid or somewhere else or for later, right, then you can't actually collect information for aiming, like you could with this guy. So you're essentially forced to two initiators, which in turn makes you unable to run like double controller or remove the op from your game, right? Or remove the duelist, right? Because if you need two initiators, you run two smokes, then you're gonna only have one duelist and like no sentinel, for example. So all of these things create problem. So the other alternative back then, when this was clearly the meta, the other alternative was actually NA doing simple things, and NA has a habit of just forcing the ascent comp on any new thing that comes out, because it's like the idea is, okay, it's simple enough, we know how to play it, right? So we're just gonna use the ascent comp, which is the KO and the Sova comp, right? With the jet, one sentinel, Cypher, or KJ depending on the meta, and one smoker, like a flexible smoker like Omen or Astra, or Clove, whoever is strong at the moment. Okay, so we forced that comp. You must have seen something like that on when Abyss came out as well. A lot of teams were running just the ascent comp to understand the map a little bit better. That's what they were doing on Pearl at that time. It was like sort of obvious that the best agent for Pearl, if you're gonna run solo smokers, is gonna be Astra. Okay, so that's what we're seeing right now. Is like, again, this competition is happening in NA, so we haven't really seen European take on Pearl yet. We haven't seen like Pacific take on Pearl yet, right? So right now we're just seeing a lot of American influence or North American influence onto the meta. Okay. So from that, like that meta ascent comp, there were some changes that they made back then. So seemed to be decent because information was okay, but especially for retakes on A site, like the utility was looking really good. The ult was really good as well. So people have kept the Sova around, and the meta is turning more and more into this. Obviously, okay, you have the Neon because good rotations, fast rotations, and obviously the agent is busted at the moment. Astra because only most viable solo smoker on the map, which we're gonna talk a little bit more about. Okay, KO because need two initiators, and KO knife has been extremely good for early information, especially for map control. Like these knives that we use, like on attack, there's a standard knife here that gives you like any information about people pushing up for like DB main control. We'll talk about this meta a little bit. Okay. And then you can use knife here aggressively. This knife can be thrown from both the side and mid as well. So it's like, and there's one knife here as well. That gives, again, you get like stupid high control. Not only do you get information, but because their utility gets shut down, it creates problems in scaling up. So if you knife here, you will see a setup, like a common setup. I'll actually show you. Damn it, like this. So a very common setup on defense is something like this, right? Like you see a star here placed by the defenders every single time, and that works with a protocol essentially, which is something like this, which is you knife here from either this spot or this spot. If the knife catches people, then they are pushing aggressively. Then instead of putting a smoke here, like, oh, unlucky, instead of putting a smoke here, you would actually pull instead, right? So this aggression is stopped, and you can either push with it, try to punish people, or put like a smoke in front of it, something like this, or just just smoke and actually not push, you know, because if you want to threaten that, okay, we're just faking for B main control. Okay, so this is how the routine works on this part of the map. Okay, okay, so that's why KO is looking really, really fucking good, right? So this meta is like stabilizing a little bit more. I'm not gonna be surprised if this actually becomes meta for Europe as well. Like what people are running right now, in NA. Yeah. So these are pretty close. Okay, Neon, yeah, that's why we're running Neon, because really good agent. Okay, Jet, more comfort. You get better opportunities to scale onto sites because you can updraft over like a lot of stuff, like, you know, a lot of setups and stuff, right? Like Jet is in general a little bit more adaptive than Neon is, specifically inside fights. Okay, the rest of the comps are okay. I mean, the difference between a KJ and Weiss is not too much. It's a good attempt running the Weiss, honestly. KJ gives you a lot more control towards mid. Okay, it's a lot simpler to run the KJ, but a lot more teams know how to counter it. Okay, and countering the KJ is not that difficult. It's quite easy to break it and remove all the mid control from the defenders, and then force for rotations by faking multiple spots. Okay, hope we can like catch up here. Okay, so Weiss is a good attempt. Okay,
you just have to destroy the KJ.
Yeah, exactly.
Utility right on mid, and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And after that, the map opens up like really, really widely. So I like this Weiss attempt. I like what they're doing. I think they put like this wall here often. Oh, so this is a different thing. Okay, so he puts like a wall here, for example, and these are extremely good on a map like this that has like already really long rotations. If this wall goes up, there's no way this guy can actually get out. You know, maybe even he waits out the wall, even he updrafts over it or TPs over it, whatever. This much space is enough to catch anyone. Granted, you're somewhere in mid. You know, so this is looking like Weiss is looking a decent agent so far. I want to pay a little bit more attention to it on defense. I haven't really gone to that yet. Okay, so these are all things about meta so far. Now we have meta. Okay, now why I want to look at this a little bit more carefully. Okay, we understand how Silva, how KO helps a little bit more. An example of how Astra helps us control the map like super, super deep, even though the Astra could be playing like somewhere here, right? With more utility here, especially with the 5 stars. I think they might have actually added the 5 stars to make her viable on Pearl. But again, even she's playing somewhere else, she can help passively have so much control over B side, right? With the knife and like 1 star that could be anything, could be a pull, could be a smoke, right? Could be nothing, right? So it's so much passive control. What I wanted to see more was how does it look like on attack. Like this is just one example. This is something we've been doing from past patch, but new patch, like, you know, now in the new meta when the sky is not as strong, it's a lot more difficult for the Astra to actually have aggressive attack control. And I wanted to see that. I wanted to show it to you guys as well. So that's what we're going to be paying attention to. A lot of today is about macro and macro only. What kind of strategies people are using, what kind of strategies they should be using based on the economy they have, right? We're gonna make some assumptions like people do not whiff, okay? Trades always happen, and if basic fights, if there are no advantages in a fight, then they are 50-50 fights. So for example, this is like a 50-50 fight, 100%, because this guy's like completely out, and this guy's completely out as well, right? So they do not have any cover to hide to, okay? Both of them have like similar guns, right? This guy has 74 HP, so slightly more favored towards CA because he's playing on an uneven surface, so his head hitbox is gonna be going up and down, okay? And obviously the HP difference. All right, so this is an example of 50-50 fight, and we'll always consider that it is a 50-50% chance that anyone would win. Okay, so these are assumptions we make. In Pro Tier especially, we make these because everyone is really good at aiming, and people rarely biff. Okay, and it's not something that we can account for while making strategy as well. So again, today's focus is on strategy because we're trying to figure out macro. Okay, if you're playing for any teams, this would be a good way to look at it. 2 things that I learned. One, on all of attack, EG seemed to have like a playstyle. I think Neri is agiling for them. No, it's SEN. I'm actually stupid. Nature is agiling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Stupid. But yeah, nature is actually for them, and it seems like he likes to leave a lot of deposits. He likes to look for picks. Okay, so if you're trying to see that kind of playstyle, it's like kind of good. Okay, so right at the beginning, we're gonna see pistol versus pistol. On pistols, I really recommend that you make commitments to B or A directly, or even if you want to go through mid, that you don't split up too much and just go through one way. Because the reason is the trades always work out in your favor because of that. If you split up, you know, the thing is like the power dynamics are so low, like the utility is so low in these pistol rounds that most of your kills are gonna happen by just basic gunplay, you know, you shooting your pistol at someone, them shooting back. So you just want to utilize numbers advantage. As soon as you split, then maybe I have like 3 people going here, 2 people going here, and in a perfect world they would have like maybe 2 people here, 1 here, maybe 2 here, so or maybe 2 here, 1 here, right? So numbers, you lose the advantage that you come in with numbers, basically. That's what these guys go for. I don't like it as much, but you're gonna see them do this a lot. Okay, what you're gonna see, okay, now I want you to pay a lot of attention to utility that is being used. Okay, so just like this smoke that we talked about, this smoke is being used as well for the same purposes. If they hear people running in, they can use it to pull, you know, so that they can't scale as much. And if they don't hear people running in, if they hear minor presence, or if they scan someone with the eye, they can put up the smoke if they want to take aggressive control, right? So it's like multiple options available because of this. So it's a similar smoke that you can be using like regularly. Okay, this smoke is like very simple traditional smoke which we use to like cross over. You know, it's a pickup star basically. It creates the threat of people playing here. Okay.
But here we go, map 2.
It's important that we pay attention to every single noise that is made. Okay, so we have taken some shots as attackers into doors here. Okay, an eye has been used here from garage, from art, that's broken immediately. So 2 pieces of presence that we've shown as attackers already. It doesn't matter as much as what defenders are doing, because they're gonna be in these positions anyway. It's sort of assumed, you know, but what the attackers show matters a lot. So the eye is used, broken. Okay, shots taken in mid.
What do we got? Any weird comps?
And
here?
then we use a drone. Okay, so this drone is like a very big sort of clue that they're giving to the opponents that this is now an A split. Okay, drone can be heard from here, obviously, right? So if a drone is used, usually it is used. It's a very expensive thing to use. Okay, so most of the time, if it is used, it's used to follow up with people. Okay, especially in a pistol when nothing has happened yet. Okay, this is a huge clue. So this is 100% for faking A split. Okay, because people aren't following up on it.
Not really, right?
No, yeah.
They're still rocking the vibes for EG.
So sim goes. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit, which we're gonna do a lot, by the way.
It's like the same pistol they did last
There's a lot of
Almost.
shots taken. Okay, they use the prowler to clear this. The prowler isn't broken. It doesn't take contact anywhere.
They went
Right.
art. And
So you can assume that the defenders think it's been pushed up until here now. Which is not what's
A-split?
happening.
I want to say.
Oh, look at this flank.
Oh yeah. A lot
Right.
of info.
And then this is like a full routine, which is both of these things used here. I think that's a flash, vice flash, right, and recon, and this to annoy people who are going to be peeking from here. Right, so this is a full routine to clear this area. Okay, this now should threaten a very fast A hit coming in right now, which in generally, if there are any flankers, it speeds them up. Okay, because if my site is getting hit, I need to rotate much faster. I need to flank much faster to catch them in a pinch when my defenders are ready to sort of fight them, right? So this is like a good way to force flankers.
Celsius has a
And
shit.
immediately they cancel, right? Like they do the whole routine and then they cancel, like, and then they start falling back. Now, this is their playstyle. Do I agree with it? I don't really think it's a good idea, because now they're playing for picks on attack in a pistol, right? Which, like I said earlier, you know, picks they can go either way. right? So if they turn it into like a 4v4 here, right? If they go to B side, then it's not gonna be enough of an advantage that it's a win condition on its own, you know. So it's like it's a little bit weird to me, but it's the playstyle that they're going for.
Sheriff?
Okay, let's see contact. All right, contact is
Yeah,
made
okay,
already. Now it's time to actually jump on these guys. So he just takes the fight, wins that.
Yay.
They see
This is
Zelsa's
good.
things, right?
No, no.
Damn, yay.
Very little reasons to actually go to A side right now. Obviously, they don't have anyone playing A main as well, so you know it was a very clear idea to just fake it. Now immediately after this, what do they start looking for? Immediately they start pushing into this areas. Like they're looking for more picks. Like they know that this just happened, this trade just happened. It shows that we're gonna go back, right? So people will rotate and we'll try to look for picks on the rotators, right? That's like what the calls are about basically. Okay, it's a very sort of like playing for picks kind of and creating pick opportunities kind of playstyle that Nature is going for. I'm guessing he does that because he trusts that his teammates can get picks more often, win duels more, even though he's playing against Zekken.
Nice
He
shot,
wants
bro.
that mouse.
This guy wants his mouse so bad.
So it's a fair trade, right? Like, this trade happens, that's fair. Okay, these guys go for, again, like looking for more picks on rotations, right? Which, again, these are going to be 50-50. So that's why I think this is not like a very good attack strategy, okay? Even though, like, for pistols, again, for later rounds, I'll tell you when this is like a good way to play. Okay? But it matters a lot, like what your economy looks like. Okay, I hope that makes sense so far. Okay. Also, I hope you understand how to actually use mid, right? Despite this being not a good call, in my opinion, it is executed quite well, right? Like all the timings that these guys are faking with are fantastic, right? Like the drone that is used, it confirms that they're gonna be like, it's like a very hard tell that it's gonna be an A hit, right? And they have a really good routine to take
Holding
all of
his
this
flank.
area.
Oh yeah. A lot of
Right,
info.
so recon, flash, and this, right? So it completely clears all of this
Is the
area,
sheriff?
right? And post all these rotations, it increases this, and immediately before these rotations come in, these guys are already proactively getting ready for these fights. Okay, so it's like phenomenal execution of this playstyle, right?
Sorry.
No, no.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And here as well, I think looking for picks. I mean, these are very risky fights, but they're going for the right spots. You know, where the rotations would be caught. Like, you know, people leaving like this, people leaving like this. So if I lurk up here, you know, I can hear them leaving, and maybe if I hear a couple of footsteps, I can exit after that.
Nice
He
shot,
wants
bro.
that mouse.
This
You
guy
know, so he just speaks out at a good
smells so
timing.
bad.
And there's no reason for him to have lost this. This is a 100% 50-50 fight, right? So it's just a matter of like him playing this better.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a lot of whiffing.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Great movement.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically the first round. I hope that covers like at least one, what to do on pistols, two, how to play mid, you know, and how maps are like how opponents are forced to rotate basically to create picks. You know, it's a very FNS kind of playstyle as well. Alright, we're gonna go to round number 2. Rest of the pistol doesn't matter as much. Once this happens, you know, it's very meaningless basically, like to actually analyze it too much. No, they lose a bunch of people. All right, numbers
Ooh, we
disadvantage.
got timing.
Okay, yeah, it goes for
Go.
like a nice flank.
Big
Good timing for him.
Nature is like, is Nature still
So-
alive?
Yeah, he is. He's playing bomb.
Wait, 3v2 again. This is like fully numbers, right? So
Shit.
4 HP, very hard to win that. So I'm gonna be dodging these like fights mostly. It's not really something that we're focused on. Okay, next round we'll look at, again, if you're doing any strats for your teams. Okay, maybe you want to IGL, maybe just make some calls for your teams. I would recommend 100% look at economy first. That's the first thing you want to look at. Next thing you want to look at is the ultimates. Okay, like how close they are, and then you want to look at individuals, basically someone performing like really well or really poorly. What are things that you can discount? For example, like a smoker has been doing really horribly, so you can discount that they will have good smokes on like good timings. Okay, so back to economy here. Okay, SEN wins the round. Okay, they're gonna force up into a bonus, right? These guys they lose very heavily. Okay, so maybe a sheriff or two, right? Pretty standard. Now, again, this is also a similar situation where so much advantage is to the other team. It makes a lot of sense for teams to actually go for 5-stack pushes, early rushes, or mid-game rushes. Mid is a good area to play with low economy in because everything is close range, right? This is an awful place to play if you're running classics, you know, against the full buy, obviously. So A is sort of medium, you know, like there are some close range fights, there are medium range fights, you know, nothing long range like B. Okay, so rush push at A would have been a good call. Okay, I don't think these guys are trying to do that, but I'm sure they're trying to show it because this knife happens. I'm pretty sure like they can expect a knife like this.
She didn't get to play, but that guy's
All three of them get knifed here.
saying she stood up last second.
Push up, okay. And again, like it's good to run in here and try to break the recon because it shows that they have pushed up all the way here.
That's hilarious.
I think a big part of this is as well, like they use the knife here early. They're actively fighting for this space and trying to pick up the orb for the KO, okay, which is the ult that they're gonna be farming, which is reasonable, honestly. But like all these agents, I think KO ult is like the only good one, which means that there are no really good ults in this comp, generally speaking.
Oh, talkers get walkers. Holy shit. What a snitch.
They leave a deposit. Okay, now, this is something they've been doing really, really well. But this is not a bad call. This again, faking an A hit and actually going towards something else, like especially mid here, looking for rotations would have been really good. Leaving a deposit is okay as well.
People are saying I'm not sure. Okay.
I'm gonna speed this up a little.
Hell snitch. That guy's lying. Okay.
So this is a very weird thing that A is doing. I'm not sure. This is a good lineup, basically. What it's good for is if you enter like this, the thorns are gonna make life really miserable for anyone who's trying to intercept on the entry from this space, right? Because they can't move, right? So if they were throwing more pressure here, then leaving the thorns here would have been good. If they were actually planning to move through here, leaving the thorns there would have been good. This is sort of weird because they actually go for this spot and then fake for this. So maybe they're pulling rotations here. I think their plan end game is to actually go A side after farming the orb here.
Zelda's not stopping.
But it's really nice from Zelsis to actually reclear this. This matters so much because the next thing that would have happened after they farmed the orb is like something like this, because you know they can spin into A after having Zelsis or Simplay here.
Zelda's super for the game.
Zelda's gonna get that SEN mouse for the finals if we make it.
And this is huge. Again, like this basically disrupts the entire thing. Now they run it, and at this point, honestly, the round is lost because they actively took space here. They faked towards a B hit to pull rotations towards B. You know, like thinking that they wouldn't expect a deposit somewhere, right? Because they just faked A, so if they're gonna fake B next, it's probably gonna be pulling rotations. And they could have had A side after that with the deposit being working there. Okay.
Pretty cool attack, by the way.
It's nice reclear from Sun. So this is what's really good about Sun actually is their protocols on rotations are extremely good. They do not like over rotate at all. They maintain like a really good control over the map in general. In contrast, I don't think EG is doing a fantastic job at like clearing like KJ's utility basically, or opening up these areas like early enough.
They threw the astral alert smoke on B and it could get the orb from like within the
But
smoke.
I'll
Actually, spoke on B.
Yeah, that's what
move
they
this
right here.
round a little bit forward, but honestly speaking, it's sort of lost already. They take the site. SEN just gives them the site basically because they want to group up for their numbers, which is fair. But I like the smoke as well. Like it's huge to give them a bunch of smoke, like bunch of space to play in, you know, rather than just smoking this or this or this. It creates like a lot of walls to play around. Covers the swag decently well.
Good break. Doesn't matter.
That's just clean up. I mean, it's expected, honestly speaking. I can like
Can I just ask a question before
Yeah,
we
of
move
course.
on? About the Zelsis pick on Jet, can
Mhm.
we see that again? Because like
Yeah.
I felt that if I was at his place, I wouldn't have done that because it's kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
So I want to see how he did it actually.
I think he just jiggle clears it slowly.
Yeah. So he is running a stinger, right? So movement is 100% his friend. Right. So the way you want to clear this is like check close angles like this here, stuff like deep here, and then do like a fast trickle.
Jiggle?
Yeah.
What was her name?
Yeah,
Flying,
fast
okay,
jiggle.
okay, okay.
Fast jiggle is good.
Oh, he says right click. Right?
I don't think they show it, but you can see it on the map. You know?
Zeus is just playing
Yeah.
next to the Killjoy turret. Is there a reason for that, or is he just like does he swing off the Killjoy turret's contact?
Where?
Where Zekin is on B, there's a
Zekin.
Killjoy turret next to him.
I see, I see.
Oh,
That guy's lying. Okay, okay.
Let's see. Oh, I see, I see. No, it's just cover
Is
from
that-
him. You see?
Or
Like,
is that just cover, like so you can sit behind it?
exactly,
That's what I
yeah.
presumed
Yeah,
it
it
was.
can tank.
maybe on the Astra Star on B long because they could be crossing
Uh,
B, so he wants
So-
to clear A. And
Oh yeah.
this is a good spot in general for long range weapons like ops and stuff. Okay, Guardian
Mm.
definitely falls into that, right? So this is something that you want to do like once every game, honestly speaking, 2-3 times if people don't punish you for it, right? So they're trying to use it in the second round for like it's an off angle. It's very hard to pre-aim, right? So always the person who's playing here, unless someone expects it on the attack side, they always have the advantage. They have buffed it by putting the KJ turret here. This is just for, I mean, obviously the turret's going to take contact first as well, but that's up to Zekin, you know, whether he plays around it or not. But obviously the main benefit is that the turret's going to tank damage for him. Yeah, he's going to be alright, you know. It's really hard to kill him, like especially with, you know, weapons like this. It's a nice setup actually. I like it.
Zeus is not stopping. No, I'm gonna
Alright,
start talking shit to
thank
Zeus.
you for showing that.
Yeah, they didn't really show it, but you can sort of see on the map. Like, it's a very slow clear. And then, like, fast AD, you know? Like, in like
Yeah.
a small space, you know? Not like wide ADs. Just very fast, like,
Yeah.
slow, like, small space AD. Which is very good for the gun.
And he like dared to walk up A because there was some movement on B with the Astra Star
No,
and
no,
stuff
this
like that.
you can tell 100% the way he's clearing things. It's a protocol for them to check for deposits. You can tell 100% that these guys expect people leaving deposits, and he's checking for deposits like deliberately, because of the way he clears this angle. Okay. That's already one thing, is that there has been zero noise for a very long time after they took this space, you know. Like a decent amount of time. Usually, like, what happens is, okay, I fight for this space on attack. If I want to hit A site, I will attack in like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, because that's enough time for me to recharge my utility, fake for mid rotates, and basically coordinate with my teammates, right? But absolutely nothing has happened here, right? So they are expecting deposits, which is something that they might know about EG in general, but also is a very normal protocol. But yeah, it's exactly what he's trying to do, is just to look for deposits. It's really nice. And again, what's really good is they don't over rotate as well. Like, a lot of teams would like move this here, you know, after all the noise is gone from here. But they don't over rotate
keep the
early.
orb
Their
viewer.
idea is that, okay, we have the better guns anyway, let them plant. We'll just play for retakes. It's quite nice.
But we'll leave it in their hands. If they
I'm
do
very
it,
happy with both teams, honestly speaking, like how they're playing the map. The only thing is, like, I don't like that EG plays forward, like, lurks so much. Which, again, they might have a good reason
for
for it.
VO3, that's totally fine.
So production is
Alright,
down?
so now we're on bonus versus full buy. Okay. So usually on attacker side here, because you have much more to lose, better guns that might go into the other team's hands, right? And more HP, more utility, right? What you will do is, like, you will play very, very passively. You play grouped, essentially. You will wait for the other team to attack somewhere. Either teams attack right at the beginning of the round as a part of their, you know, strategy, or they do a little bit later so that they cannot be read, which is something that I like to do personally. Like 30 seconds later, 40 seconds later, I would ask my team to actually push down mid, because that way the opponents can't read. And a lot of teams like to have protocol reactions, which is like, if I make a move somewhere here, then as a reaction they will go full aggro. But it's 100% in the profit or benefit of the team that is doing the bonusing, or like has the worst economy to make a play as a team, which means, like, you know, 2 or 3 people going in to fight. Okay.
Yeah, production's
EG,
down.
however, is
I
just
don't
gonna
know if,
disregard that entirely, and they
yeah.
play for mid control right away.
What do you think, Rob? Is it
I
an
don't know if
option for
coaches
us
are that flexible.
to make it a BO5?
Seems a pretty aggressive
This
move.
is pretty fucking good, honestly, really good spam.
Yeah, it's up to them. If they
But
don't,
this is not how you generally play, like, cause now they are in exec space. If they were, if Sen had a plan to like sort of execute off of the dog scaling, like catching anyone by like cutting off these lines, you know, putting smokes here, throwing a flash, you know, maybe some like movement utility like a pull or a stun, right? It would have been really difficult for these guys to survive. Okay, so pretty aggressive and careless sort of strategy here.
want to, then it's totally fine.
But
see.
we could definitely plan next
Works
year.
out for them.
Yeah. Because it is a big
Again, they
change.
push into art, which is, like I said, they have so much to lose. They have so much to lose. You know what I mean? Any gun that goes here, even if you trade numbers equally, right, it equalizes their economy, right? This turns into a Vandal. It's gonna be a much harder round to win. So in a case like that, they're pushing themselves into tight spots, which can be pinched from multiple spaces. It's really bad in my opinion. Choose to do it anyway.
Okay, here we go in the bonus.
And there's no buttons on A main and B main.
So interesting. They got flanked on pistols, so now they have the
So
Astra
same
just
routine
like maintaining
that we
that
talked
ground.
about.
Derek maintaining this
Drone
ground.
comes
A.
in. Again, there's no follow-up on the drone, so it's very much like try to figure out how many people are here, keep them here, right? Look for picks, essentially. This isn't a real A split, obviously, you can tell, because there's no one aggressing with the drone.
I'm curious if SEN are gonna have like a lot of active flanks because of the Vice.
And then they go for lurk. And again, this works so well. This, like, if you want to do this, if you don't call it, it's such good execution of this, right? They use all the utility they need to. Last round, they conditioned them by doing full util take of this area. This round, they use half the utility, right? So that it's more economical, but because they're threatened by it from last round, they're going to be giving more space.
Yeah, because there's like more gaps.
And now they have two lurks in like really good spot. Once you're here, you get 3 opportunities to get picks, like here, here, and here. Right? It's really nice if you're looking for picks.
Weird offhang by second.
And now they have the opportunity to basically cut off these two guys entirely from the rest of their team. You know? If they decide to do that. So this works really well, but like I said, very weird round to do that. You know, full buy versus bonus. Too much of a risk.
Oh, this hurts. What the hell?
My God.
He knew he was out and he slid on him. Wow.
This was the wall I was talking about. You know, I think I mentioned that earlier.
Smoke's dead.
And this is the problem, right? Like, this again, this works out well for him because long range fight. Okay, one only long range fight. But
Second hears all this.
now this happens.
There's not gonna be a spawn,
so
dude.
this is gonna be problematic. So second is so fucking insane, man. I swear to God.
Second hears all this.
Such a good shot.
There's not gonna be a spawn smoke, dude.
It's very clean.
Oh, just one.
I mean, if he dies
victory.
here, it's a bad play, right? Because they have
No,
numbers and
nothing.
his team is far
No.
away. No.
No. 100% it's worth trading. 100% it's
Spawn
worth
smoke,
trading.
dude.
So if he dies here, like what's the worst that happens? Okay, they lose one person who's actually playing on site. Oh, I mean, they
It's
have
still a
KJ to hold them.
4v3.
Exactly.
And on top of that, bear in mind, EG already have gun advantage.
Yep.
So it's just taking another rifle off their hands. And I think, or at least in my opinion, it's better playing a 4v3 than a 5v4
Mhm.
on weaker weapons.
Yep.
If they let them have the space, they also take space to play close spawn
Mhm.
with longer rifles.
It's actually bad if he doesn't intercept right now, because fighting here also means that their access of the site is gonna be slower, which is gonna allow them to, like, again, this is why the rotations would be on time.
Once he dies, someone else just picks up his gun, and he's also Zekken. So he's like,
Yeah.
you got to take that into account. Like he's
And-
one of, if not the best player in the world.
Exactly, and the other thing is he's a duelist as well. So if he dies, we don't lose too much that we need for retakes. You know what I mean?
So else just goes and picks up the gun. That's it.
Yeah, we will need.
It's a good
this
pick, even if
here.
they were equal on guns.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
If they were what?
if they were equal,
Equal
on
on-
vandals and vandals.
Eco round, as in the Sen was
No,
eco
like
or
full buys.
HA?
If they were
But,
both
like-
full buys.
Yeah, like if all players had vandals.
Oh, okay. Then it's a matter of choice. So in situations like this, I generally think if you have a shot, you should take it before you leave.
Mhm.
One more thing that I like to do is I discourage 5vx retakes, or usually 5v5 retakes, because anchoring is more easier to get picks on, and letting 5 people through 2 chokes is always like annoying. Like we have 3 because I haven't. But I would say 50-50, like depends on the round. But
Situation.
yeah, in this situation, 100% worth peeking. It's bad if he doesn't.
Oh, just 1v3. I'm gonna kill one and get out.
Speed this up.
Now, would you say repick or do you think you just play the 5v3?
Nah, sure not.
I reckon surely you just play 5v3, but
No overheat either, by the way.
I know.
Was that
Yeah.
semi-kill?
No, 100%. Like playing, waiting for everyone.
He took
It's
one.
much better.
Dude.
I'm not really sure what's going on with Sean Kitty. It's just sort of
30
stuck
seconds
here
left.
looking at something.
No overheat either, by the way.
People
I know.
to come
if
out
you
here, I
just-
guess.
I think because they conditioned them to lurk, he's
Mhm.
probably expecting a lurk.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dude, poor
Spike
guy.
planted.
Ooh, Ye's have a decent
Rotations are quite slow, which again is the nature of this map. If you're stuck here, you know, like your rotations are gonna be horrendous. You can't actually go this way.
Yeah.
This is horrendous.
Especially because of the wise rule as well, right?
Exactly. Wise
Like,
wall as well is
Because
so
they,
annoying.
cause they know someone was aiming.
Exactly.
2 guys coming street,
That's why the wall is so good.
potentially.
Yeah, but look how they're walking.
It's so annoying, man. Like going like this, so many angles to clear. Not only is it so long, but so many angles you have to clear. Every angle that you have to clear slows you down.
They're like aware in a trade scenario.
Yeah.
They would have to get both.
I wonder the timing here.
So I think
So
they
now he's worried
messed
about
up
his
their retake here like quite badly.
Oh,
Self-says.
Nice fight. Utilizing the
Very cool.
movement.
Derek kills like a bunch of them there.
Yeah. On side they kill like 2 people. Because the retake is fucked.
Self-says.
Which, to be fair, I don't think they have anything to retake with, because they have like 1 smoke left, maybe. Not sure. And like this thing, not much utility left either. No dogs, no eye. So it's really painful.
That's annoying.
That is annoying.
Yeah. They just dry peek everything, you know. They don't even put a smoke. Just dry peeking everything. I think it was a horrendous retake, honestly speaking.
They should have just taken more time than put a
Yeah,
smoke down.
Surely they use neon wall to isolate the
Exactly,
long
yeah,
possibility,
Well, I
right?
think if you use neon ball where Zekken is now, it isolates nature as well.
Exactly, yeah.
But I guess because they had numbers, they weren't thinking about it or something.
I don't know what they were doing, man. Like here, they should have used utility for the retake. I'm so lost as to why they're
I
not
think
doing
if he walls this, Derek
That's
doesn't kill the
annoying.
guy.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a wall, there's a
The
smoke
race
here.
shouldn't be dead.
Yeah, the smoke they have that they could have used here. They have stuns. I mean, yeah, stuns they used already.
Regardless, it was a nice shot by Derek.
Annoying.
Oh,
It's a decent, easy one, honestly.
what just happened?
Wait, 2 and 3.
We also need
It
to
was good from nature actually to aggro. It's 2v2, like they've already started the retake. You know, they just lost 2 people, so people make more mistakes when something like this is happening.
like
Going aggro here is
defuse
not
the bomb. There's only 10 seconds left.
that, and on top of that, they're so delayed
and
because of the
now you
rotations
know,
being so
time as
fucking
well.
late. You know.
Yeah.
Get on now.
There's only 10 seconds left.
remaining.
We didn't get it.
Damn,
So
Derek.
they lose 5v3. They lose
No way they lose a 5v2
Yeah.
retake.
5v2 actually.
5v2. Yeah.
5v2.
Wild. Like
Because
Yeah,
Jay gets
look at this.
nothing.
that's fucking insane.
Self-says.
Poorly played by SEN, but I think also, yeah, especially nature,
Mm-hmm.
played quite good because he knew they were, because even then it was a 2v3.
Yeah.
Like, they were quite dismantled by losing the first 2.
Yeah.
And
He goes
also
aggro on that.
time.
Yeah.
So he just pushes off it.
I like that. I like that. These are like fast things that you learn. Like it's instinctual, but like the
Well,
more
he-
you go on.
The CIA is a bulldog here. Would it have been, because he gets the 5 bullets, would it have been worth just dropping the bulldog and picking up the vandal on his left or not?
We also need to like.
There was a guardian there.
Oh no. I think,
I don't think he wants to give them the timing.
yeah,
that's-
exactly. That's the time. It's
Which
too
thing-
too close. So
Too much of a risk.
yeah,
you
yeah,
think?
too much for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Equip time is too much. For a situation like that when everyone can potentially pick him within a second. You know.
Wait, 2 and 3.
We also need to like defuse the
If he
bomb.
had like active, like maybe even downtime of like 2 seconds, then he could have done that. But Everyone is like
because
super over.
she's racing it, then yeah, okay.
Yeah, and his goal in that position isn't to take a fight as well. It's just to
Delay
have the
or
hopeful
something.
timing and draw attention as well.
Okay.
Okay, we go to round number 4. Okay, now again we see mid default, which is again, like I said, EG just tries to abuse the same thing. Now, SEN is on a like half armor. This is when. So this is what I want you to pay attention to. Now the same strategy would work much better. We'll
I have
We'll
no
see a little
idea.
bit.
On Overwatch, played for.
Let's
Why
see.
is he?
What team was that?
Wait, is this a replay? That's a replay. I don't know, chat. What
Chat
team?
spam.
Okay, so we're
don't
seeing full half armors here, and okay, bunch of half armors here, 3 half armors here, 2 full armors here. EG obviously has much better buy here,
Watch. She could
and again.
Well, they have three light shields. So I mean, depending on Zekan's aim, like
Yeah.
the outlook could still be huge value. You know?
Mhm.
certainly say what team he was on.
Wait, he's never pro in
That is unlucky.
Overwatch.
What?
Wait.
Unlucky for both. I mean, he gets 1 shot, but it doesn't go to the head. But they could have killed second as well here.
Are we kidding
I
ourselves?
think Zekin got out on top there,
Overwatch.
like in the interaction.
What's that?
I think Zekin got out on top in that interaction.
Yeah,
Spamming Overwatch. She could
Yeah.
certainly say what team he was on.
Wait,
huge
he's never
damage.
pro
And
in Overwatch.
I think it goes for a second shot. If it doesn't go for a second shot, I think it worked really well. I think he's trying to spam him to get the full kill.
I don't think
Wait.
his second shot. His first shot didn't hit, did it?
Yeah,
His second one
I think
does.
first one did, right?
No, misses.
She could certainly say what team he was on.
Yes.
Wait, he's never
Oh yeah, you're right. The second
and
one
over-
did. Okay, no, 100% you're right.
Overwatch.
What?
Wait.
Was I think because
Also there are
he's-
boxes behind this thing. So
Was that?
he's
Wait,
got like
never pro in
a lot more health. I think it's a wallbang as well.
yeah, so
Um,
okay, this I didn't realize that
So I think
boxes. Because the
yeah.
spam is not as good as I thought it would be because there's so much shit behind the door.
Overwatch.
What?
Wait.
but wouldn't you say also Zekan gets more value because not only does he do
Yeah.
uh
I thought it was
Well,
risky because the door. I
is more
thought like
help.
the door was spammable, like more.
Yeah.
You know.
it is, but it's not as simple.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
also because Sim's their main entry,
Mhm.
which and okay, I think correct me if I'm wrong. It's a lot better to have an entry, or it's more important to have an entry on attack
Yeah.
than defense.
100%.
retake.
Yeah, yeah. Like, you are 100% correct. Yeah. So
And
it
Sim's
works out for
characteristics
them.
matter,
Yeah, yeah.
heart and everything.
You gotta you gotta build like this idea of when you're analyzing things is when a play is made, you should not look at like the result as much as the intentions of the play, because like when you look at the play itself, like you have to think about like you can't assume that he's gonna be looking at like the entry, you know what I mean? It could be anyone. Either way it's like an okay play. I think it works out for him either way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like I would really recommend, because this is something that I used to do as well when I was analyzing when I was just starting. Just like look at like what actually happened, like result oriented.
Are we
So it's
kidding
better to learn
ourselves?
from the other.
He faked his resume?
Why is he known as
Yeah,
Derek
speed this up a
Overwatch?
little.
I was lied to.
The schedule is as soon as this match is over, NRG
This
plays
is
the
sort of
winner.
what I mean. It's like, okay, better buy here. They have worse buy. So half armor, it's gonna be easier to get picks. Okay, they still have all the guns, so it doesn't matter if the guns are exchanged, right? In fact, it works better for these guys because they're running two fucking guardians. You know what I mean? So now this kind of defaulting makes a lot more sense.
Oh, he's like a puppy Messi.
That's funny.
I like how they clear it. I like this one way that these guys are using on SEN. I like the spamming that these
He's
guys are
played a lot
doing.
of Overwatch, I see. He's ranked him in
I like the read from Sen actually, that they're leaning towards an A
Dude,
default.
They are so
Off that
good
mid
at
contact.
reading. Their
Yeah.
rotations have been so phenomenal, honestly. The only time that I've seen them fuck up is like when they got stuck here for too long.
That's funny.
Like their
Julius,
reads and
yourself?
like everything is like
Say what
super
team he was on.
perfect.
Wait, he's never pro in Overwatch?
What?
Wait.
Are we kidding
And I've
ourselves?
seen multiple
He faked his
mid.
resume?
Why is he known as Derek Overwatch?
I was lied
And
to.
immediately like the
Well,
rotations
mid
are like
Mary
they
doesn't get
leave
contact
all of
and
this
they're already
area.
rotating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like all of this
That's
is
weird.
open entirely, even though these guys were spotted.
The
Solid.
schedule is as soon as this match is over, NRG plays the winner.
Oh, he's like a puppy Messi.
That's funny.
So he just checks. QD just checks for this every once in a while.
He just played a lot of Overwatch, I see. He's a ranked demon, I got you.
That's funny.
Dog is alright.
I'm not pretending, I'm trying to remember.
It's okay. So let me go through my notes here 1 second. Spare around for 4. Yeah. So I loved their perfect. I was actually gonna. My notes is actually about SEN Stephen.
He's a ranked demon, I got you.
Okay, so look at their
I was lied to.
rotation being really good already to begin with. Okay, they take 1 contact here.
Are we
Next,
kidding
they use
ourselves?
a dog here. Dog doesn't catch anything.
He faked his resume?
They pull back. Okay, for one piece of interception. All right.
Why is he known as Derek Overwatch?
I was lied to.
And like really well distributed for this. Like fantastic reads. You know, like super nice positioning. 4
The
people are
scheduling-
ready for like a split
As
coming
soon
in.
as this match is over, NRG plays the winner.
Oh, he's like a pop demon, I see.
That's funny.
Sort of a giveaway that this might be a split because they're making a ton of noise towards this area, right? But they haven't used the drone yet, right? They were using drones for fakes like earlier on already, right? But they haven't done it now. So
He just played a lot of Overwatch, I see. He's a ranked demon, I got you.
That's funny.
it's good.
I'm
not
Okay,
pretending, I'm
they
trying
use
to remember.
bulldogs. They
we
make
actually
some
don't know.
noise. Okay, so this is 1 interception, 1 attempt to slow down their push, which works. Okay, now they're gonna pull back and start fighting for it again.
I was trying to find the information, I don't have it, he thinks I'm pretending.
I wish he didn't run, but look at immediately giving so much space. Okay, they stop them, all right, and then immediately give them the space. This is so good. They could have fought for more. They could have fought for reclearing, you know, but they just give them the space, like exact space basically to take the site. And if you do it silently enough, especially here it was silent, so what you're gonna see is the attackers waste their utility. Waste as in they will have to use utility to clear everything, right? But because there are no people anymore, like it's like 0 value, 0 return on the investing the utility, right? So it's nice from these guys to actually try and do this like dry.
His last name is actually Overwatch.
He's in contenders.
And full exec comes in,
that,
and these guys are like on sun. They're like in perfectly off positions.
Hit him there, dude.
They have the knife as well to slow this down.
He got ultimate speed!
It's unfortunate.
No.
Dude, Sim cannot catch a break.
Sim got ulted.
Wait, chat.
Also unlucky for Celsius.
I'm gonna call it now. Like, I know Sim's having a bad event here, but I feel like his revenge arc is gonna go crazy.
I think the space that they give is like perfectly good.
Break.
Sim got
I
ulted.
think it's unlucky that they 2 of them die here in the spam area.
Wait, chat. I'm gonna call it now. Like, I know Sim's having a bad event here, but I feel like his revenge arc is gonna go crazy.
Similar smoke that they've used on attack, by the way, like earlier.
Like,
Yeah.
like if he does end up playing for the team in DCT, I can see like a different version of him being shown.
This is a W ult from EG, like exactly when the retake is about to begin. But as they're leaving, you know, these guys have like really good positioning. It's good up here.
The second might be like the best outlaw player.
This should be a win, like 3-2 again.
That
Obviously, you know,
was
than like
ridiculous.
hotspots.
They need to make a move right now. They're just so hesitant. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. I think they're waiting for the KO to disappear or something. I feel like they struggle because none of their utility is up, so they're not able to move up.
The second might be like the best.
Which I think is a problem because I think they should triple peak like this side and start clearing mates. So if they do nothing, they're gonna get
Outlaw player.
like
That was
pushed up
Obviously, you
on.
know, than like
ridiculous.
hotspots.
Yeah, but
So
it's not
EA
hard
gets a
thing,
really
Hong
nice
Kong hotspots.
positioning here. I think he could have been a little bit more patient as well because he was in the astral form, so you can just walk a little bit closer.
Oh my god,
Damn, yeah, again.
Leave too, yeah. Leave.
Oh, Derek.
Uh-oh. Wow.
This happens because again these guys hesitate. So I think late game Sun is struggling a lot. Like, I think that's happened like 2 or 3 times. 2 times now in the 4 rounds.
You know, than like
ridiculous.
hotspots.
Yeah, with the slides and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like Hong Kong hotspots.
Oh my god.
Damn, yeah, again.
Leave too, yeah. Leave.
Oh,
So yeah, that's where they needed to make a play. Even though they don't have utility, they have to make a play. Perfect. Okay. Full buy. Again, half shields. Again, same thing we're gonna see again. Works out okay. Actually, no, never mind. This time they go for B default. It's good. I don't mind B defaults. I'll be honest with you. My personal favorite thing to do is like, okay, there are two ways teams usually fight this map on attack, and you want to figure this out early. Some teams really love to play for mid default. Okay, those are like very obvious to read. Most of the time, they're gonna push into these 2 areas right away. Okay, and then other teams, they love to fight for B long control a lot, like take their long range fights and farm A orb, and then come to mid later, or leave lurkers in mid to like take space. Okay, I prefer this playstyle because it's easier to force rotations once you have access to this much area. It's also easy to cut off like information, like after pushing the defenders, like here. It's super easy to just cut off all information. So it's like just ease of access to maintain pressure. Like we might be here, we might not be here. Especially if you can make some noise in this area as well. So it's very easy to fake B B splits when you're trying to go into art instead, or like a late A split with 3-4 people here, maybe one person here. That's something that
I think
I
the
like
thing
to
about the B, like the offered B long control, is that it's a lot easier to counter though.
Mhm.
Like anti-strat wise, by just like taking more
Yeah,
aggressively, taking more
exactly.
neutral space.
That's yeah. So if like teams go for this default, then you start fighting like this area more, right? By using more utility here, which is a good easy counter, but it's a big investment. If you're gonna
Or
start
even
doing
just
that,
like
go on.
taking space mid.
Oh yeah,
You know,
mid
and then
spaces, but though,
you can
but
just immediately
that's
get the read.
isn't it easy to hold mid spaces with like an Astra and a KJ? Like, you know, just leaving like a turret here or some stars here. You know, like a star here.
Yeah, but
And one person
like
here.
when once you catch on to the fact that the other team is like playing rotates,
Mhm.
you know, you don't get concerned over that hold as much, no? Like
I suppose.
especially if you get some sort of confirmation being made, then
Mhm.
you know the KJ, let's say the KJ turret gets broken, and then your default just has to slow down on the attacker side.
Yeah.
You don't get as much value from drawing up those rotates, no?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you have to like leave and then re-clear mids, yeah, then you lose a ton of futility. Yeah, and then the defenders would have a big advantage. Yeah.
Is it also worth like say like when you start,
Mhm.
you fight those mains, and then later on into like gun rounds, and you're mid rounding, you start fighting mid more, or
Mm,
no? Because then you switch it up, or is that not worth?
it's fair. I mean, it's really that's your choice, realistically speaking. But
Okay.
it no, it makes sense to me. Like that's something that I would do as well. Like I would probably play mains more at the beginning, because the earlier you show like first impressions matter, right? Things that you will do early rounds, people will be conditioned for it longer, than something that you would do mid round. So I like pressuring like mains a lot, especially like because like I said, like pushing people past this line and cutting all information is like quite easy. Eventually what you can do is like start taking this much space with only one person and like some utility. So imagine you do this early round, you know, put the smoke here, maybe like a star here, throw a knife here, right? That allows you to scale up pretty much with anything. Maybe you do in pistol like with 3 or 4 people, right? Then you do the same thing, like a smoke here, star here, pick up star here maybe, right? Knife line up here from here, right? And you send like maybe just one person with all that utility. Could be anyone, right? But it still feels the same. And if this person gets this angle, you know, and the knife checks that there's nothing here, you get all of this area
Free
for
walk up
nothing.
as well.
Exactly. For nothing, like, you know, for nothing. Like everything that you threw is like rechargeable, except for the smoke, which is also rechargeable over time. You know, so it's so good, like later on. And if the other team starts investing a lot here, you know, let's say if they use like, the other thing that I really want from this sort of default is for them to actually play here more, you know, to counter that. Because if they play here more to counter that, then their rotations for A sites are gonna be horrendous. You know, they'll have to flank or like come
So
to like
on
this.
pistol round as well.
Mhm.
Send so no one B main, so they just walk straight up B main.
Pistol sends a yeah.
Narrating Zekin just went straight up B main.
Yeah.
Was also sorry, not Zekin.
Yes. That's what I was
That
talking
was
about.
advised or
Yeah, I don't like that for the attackers, honestly. It's good that they went in.
just
It's actually good that they
Okay.
went in. Honestly, everything that they did was like very standard, you know, which is like you're supposed to do that. Like, okay, my A site is getting hit, I need to speed up. Like, you have to do it.
Okay.
And if the other team like fakes you on it, then good for them. All right.
Well played by them, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Like the options that you get is like either you can speed up here or here, you know. That's a choice that you can make, but was either way it was good for the attackers to go for the double fight.
My only other question is,
Mhm.
you said you didn't like how EG played it by like playing for picks and stuff.
Mhm.
So you wouldn't recommend like fighting for art, dragging them out of B, and just waiting for them to rotate and playing for picks like that. Or no?
Oh, it's certain rounds. So let me see, like the round that we looked at earlier, when these guys had like huge like economical like mismatch, like SEN had much lower armor, and these guys had like 2 guardians, you know. Then going for mid and playing like that makes absolutely a ton of sense, right? And the thing is, like, you have to do both, right? Like, it's just a matter of like when you do it. Like, you have to do both, like B main control and then mid default. Like, you know, main defaults and mid defaults, you have to do them over the course of 12 rounds, right? You have to do
Okay.
both of them, but it matters a lot, like when you do it. I don't like how EG does it in the economy rounds, you know, like on certain rounds based on the economy. It seems too much, I feel like. This-
They overcook it.
Mm-hmm. No,
They just do it too
it's
much.
I think it's careless. I think maybe, or maybe they are too confident in their duels, like as they go through
Yeah.
the mid.
It's just in Pearl, or do you think they just do it in general too much?
I think in general they're doing too much, and obviously at bad times. A lot of the times, right? And it could be like, I would say that's on nature, because the people who call like what to do when are mostly the IGLs, right? Maybe the coach can tell them, okay, start the pistol round with this, you know, but everything else, like the strat that is picked at the beginning of the round, is usually picked by the IGL. So yeah,
Oh, flash for
it's
mid.
the first time they go for B main, like default, right? Which, like 5th round in my book, is like already too late.
Enjoy it. It might take some time for us.
They go for this. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay.
Now we wait.
I like the star a lot as well. It creates a lot of pressure on anyone trying to push down mid. There's a star here as well.
Oh, flash for mid.
Oh, it doesn't show yet. It might take some time for us.
So like, this is like very early on, very obvious that okay, we guys are we are taking B main control, and we have starred here, so be careful that we might actually take the site as well. You know, so that's all the announcements that these guys are making. EG is making on attack.
The ASO has the wall up on A main in case they go up, and then the flash.
No, it's most
Is that-
to. So the thing is, like, when you attack B site, right? There are some places to play, like this, you know, back here. All of these are heavy commitment fights where like you will die, but you will hard anchor. These are good spots to control, maintain backside control, because if you can maintain backside control throughout the plant, it's very, very high value, because your retake's going to be super high value. On the B side retake, absolutely you must take backside control 90% of the time. Other 90% of the time you have to absolutely cut it off to get your defuse. Okay, other 10% of the time. So if you can maintain this control on attack, like, that's really good. But where do people usually defend? Here. If they're leaving, they leave this way and they leave this way. This is also the way that reinforcements come from. So if you can put like a star here, this is an unplayable spot, because this might get pulled and like mollied and stuff, right? Or as you're trying to exit, you know, if they pull, it's going to be problematic. And obviously the smoke here is good as well, you know, to disconnect people from supporting the site, right? So it's like a big threat that, guys, we might actually take B side entirely. The other thing is, like, the star also works really well if you're pushing into mid link, right? B link, because obviously you can pull or stun here to assist with your peak here. So it's a huge threat, you know. It's like a loud announcement that yeah, we're working on B side. Wait a little bit for repeaks. Okay, start scaling up. Second spots everyone.
I'm out of here.
What's back? Yeah, T-Lane says. Okay.
Can't see it yet.
Oh, there it comes. Is that it?
No, that's something else.
That's our own.
What's up?
That's salami.
And now we see the standard positions to play in, right? Like this, like we said earlier. The problem is SEN
Is he now
messes up.
trying to catch a timing here? Because they're going to clear side, he's just going to try and get one and then retalk.
I think Zekin and Nuri are trying to anchor the site and trying not to make a noise so that they can tell, like, you know, what EG is doing. Like rotations are happening as well, but I think they mess up here, honestly. So Recon comes in. Recon is there to like
Like,
react
yeah.
basically, for them to react. Again, it's not to scan people, but to figure out one person's position, because someone is gonna shoot it, right? So recon,
Especially no narrates there.
yeah. So recon tells that narrate is here, and
Default posted by Pete.
Zekken peeks here, which I think is like quite bad from him, because now both Zekken and narrate's positions are known, right? And because Zekken is peeked here already, he can no longer peek here. So there's only one way for him to leave, which is here, right? Both of these guys, exactly. So they can actually watch this. They can actually watch this. Both of these guys, because of their own actions, are forced to make plays that are predictable. You know,
I'm a little sad about
so
those last 2 rounds.
it's
I
easy
think
to
it would
sort
have
of,
been better if he just waited for them to start clearing narrate and then
exactly.
just swing.
Yes, 100%. I agree with that. I think Zekken jumped the gun, literally.
Oh,
They lose because of it, right? Like they lose both the players because they have to move, right? And they have to move in predictable ways, which is the worst thing you could do, especially in like, you know.
Narrate then has to play that pillar on heavy anchor,
Mhm.
and then Zach has to try to get out through the back.
Exactly. Having anchor, and like he has to move here to support like narrate getting out, getting out basically.
yeah.
Zekken getting out, right? Because otherwise Zekken can't get out, right? Like he has to swing a little or do something. So both of these are like extremely predictable things, and can be picked off like quite easily. Now 2 kills happened here, right? These guys were already waiting for rotation, right? 2 kills happened here, so it's very likely that the attackers will just take the site, right? Because they just killed 2 people on site, right? So now the rotations are completely forced, right? A side is going to be 100% open. Now they left their lurkers here and here, which is very passive. Usually the lurkers would work up till this spot, maybe this spot, you know, by now. Like here, maybe here, maybe here,
He's just playing safe.
right? But they're playing very, very safe. Regardless, though,
I feel like,
the
dude, it's Pearl.
EG
It's
makes a
it's like
call that, okay,
just
we're
a-
gonna use a smoke here to cut off some noise.
aim at distance.
Drone, which is fucking fantastic, honestly. They've been using the drone to fake like pretty much every time. It's more than just reclearing, it shows that they're still working on B site, you know? So it
Oh,
keeps
so
the
they left and
rotation.
they're showing presence with the drone. Okay, makes
Yeah,
sense.
so like they think that, well, okay, they're still here. This is why I love this smoke so much. It's why I love, like, this is my idea of like playing Pearl on attack, which is I make a ton of noise here, maybe get a pick, right? And after the smoke is gone, I can continue showing presence here when all of my teammates are rotated already. Right? The defenders can do nothing about it, you know. It's like so little that they can do. They
Because they killed the 2 guys on B,
Mhm.
they're gonna auto rotate, and then A is gonna be left open because it's a 3v5.
Yep.
And so the drone is basically saying that they're gonna push it more
Yeah,
because 5v3.
yeah, they're still here. Maybe they're scaling with the drone. So imagine if this guy isn't here, Exodus doesn't take the backside space, right? If players are playing here, they would think that the drone is being used to scale up, right? If he's here and then the drone is used, they would think that they're looking for more attacks to finally push into the site. You know, it's like figure out whether the site is clear enough or not. Right. So all these rotations happen. You can see that, like, what's his name? Bang is still rotating. You know.
Yeah.
Is Derek a Widowmaker main?
I actually think he played like the
He's
aiming
still
ones.
going for this. You know, like he could have gone here for interception if they had any idea. He's still going for this. So this is clearly
I
working.
watched him play McCree one day, or Cassidy, whatever the hell that guy's name is. It was incredible. I'm not gonna lie, it was
30 seconds left.
unreal.
Pretty good from
And they
Derek.
were resmoking the same thing. Even keep more pressure and get Derek out.
Mhm.
Alright, Zells.
Derek dies here, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, they get this side for free. You know, 4 people here.
The time's been bought as well, right? Like,
Exactly. But there's so little time as well. And Bang hears them. Like, could have played for just like interception, but again, numbers are so low, so I don't
I
blame
can
him.
say, do you think he plays for a fight, or do you think he has to play live and play the 4v3?
Yeah.
Gotta get this
Especially
player
with
involved.
Stinger too, like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So if he has a stinger, I think 100% worth actually like taking this fight.
Because realistically, he has to wait for them to make contact spawn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he just walks up on a timing.
Yeah.
That's what he has to do.
Exactly. So he honestly, what he should do is like, as people are running to the site, he should look for timing to catch the straggler, basically the person who's in the back, pick him off. He goes for that. He misses the timing. It's unfortunate. Superman is also like super aware. Sober, you know, 4v2, like
Same.
sober. It's lovely, like play and like from, and like all of this is like a domino effect from just Zekken, like the Zekken, right? Yeah,
Just for a
Zekken.
second, do that
Yeah.
one thing and fucking up.
Exactly, just one shot basically, like one shot that shouldn't have happened. Not even a shot, basically, like a shoulder peek that he had out.
We shot a bullet and went into someone's shoulder, basically.
Mhm.
Or close enough. Yeah.
It's nice from
Um,
EG though. Like EG 100% deserves the praise for actually going towards A side here.
So the logic is, if he literally just waited like a second more,
Mhm.
the round could go entirely different.
Yes, 100%. Also, Derek got like a really good value there as well. Like a stupid have, I think it was almost carried by him. So not only he gets the 2 shots on the people who are expected to get in these positions, he drones and like keeps them here like so well.
Bye, chat.
Okay, so that's that round. Okay, let's see. Oh, we're late already. Jesus Christ. So yeah, guys, we did
Detroit.
like what 5 rounds in
Actually,
one hour, 1.15. Yeah. But yeah, it's a lot of detail. I hope like it makes a lot of sense though. Like I think a lot of things you guys got to learn about mid lurk, you know, like these pick sort of playstyle, which I love it. I'll be honest with you, it's one of my favorite things to do, but on better times, you know. So let me go through the rounds real quick and we'll discuss like the choice of attack strategy, whether it's good or not, right? We looked through 5 of them based on the economy, you know, and we talked about like it mattered or not, right? On full buy versus full buy, honestly, it doesn't matter what you do. It depends more on what you have done previously for conditioning's sake.
Do you think you're better with conditioning stuff on like pistol rounds and early rounds?
Yeah,
Does it make it used to it?
those
Okay.
work as well. I think it's a little bit more subconscious that they work because obviously everyone like in higher elo, especially in pro tier, everyone assumes that the pistol round and the bonus round strategies do not matter and they do not have any impact on the rest of the
They
round.
do. You think?
I think it's subconscious, like a little bit more. You can scare people with certain things, you know. So it's like, I might do something like have like a 4 stack 5 stack really aggressive attack on this, and if I bully the anchor like very early on, you know, he's gonna play more passive with minor utility. They might not think that it's B split or B hit again, but he's gonna be playing more passive. Does that make sense? So you can get into people's heads a lot in pistol rounds by showing like strength, which is much easier because everyone's buy is solo and you can abuse numbers. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was talking to my team because I missed one of our games because I was sick, and from what I heard, they were literally just like it was Lotus, and on attack they were going really slow, and then they were just like going C late with a gecko every round, or like they would hit like for the last 20 seconds, they wouldn't do anything, and then just rush a site. Because then your team is just so paranoid that it's going to be anywhere.
Yeah.
Or it's just not enough noise.
Exactly. Yeah. I like that.
Which
I like that. Yeah. That's
I can agree. It's very annoying to play against. Yeah.
Yeah. That's always. I do the opposite, which is like I hard rush on pistols in early rounds, so that I can late game I can exploit like rotations more. You know, because if I'm hard hitting like let's say the first 3 rounds, you know what I mean, then the 4th round if I make noise on A side, it's much much more likely.
A hard push.
Exactly, yeah. So much more likely they're just gonna over rotate or like fast rotate, you know. So you can pick these people off more easily when picks matter more. I feel like, you know, during full bias versus full bias. But yeah, 100% like pistols have an impact. You know, you can use them for conditioning, but it's not as obvious as you would think. You know, it's not like you can't, especially in higher ranks, you can't fake. And lower mid ranks, like or like lower tier, like tier 4, tier 5. Tier 5 is nothing basically. But in these ranks as well, you can fake. Some IGLs do not understand that like pistol rounds are divorced from the rest of the strategy.
They are arguably the most important round, though.
I mean, I don't think so. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that. I think that's a fallacy that comes from CS, because in CS pistol rounds used to matter a lot. Even now they matter a lot with the new economy. in Valorant, I feel like the economy is manageable enough that after third round it doesn't matter, like who won.
Okay.
I don't think it matters. I know everyone says it, and I'm like such an outcast for saying it. I generally don't think like pistol rounds are as important as people think they are.
Curious. I'm not saying it's the most important, but I don't think arguably because I'm just curious on what's your perspective because you're supposed to win like 4 rounds of pistol rounds,
Mhm.
and then obviously your bias.
I don't think that happens
I'm
though.
just
You
curious.
know, like after this second round, like you can start like
You
like
can, yeah, because like yeah, you win. Normally, you win your full buy, and then you win the next round. You go
Mhm.
2-2 again.
Yeah.
So I guess it just
I
depends.
actually think like so there are cases when the fourth or sorry the fifth or sixth round would be the round when multiple ultimates are online, you know, and that creates the ultimate cycle, which is something that people are just disregarding entirely.
Do you think fifth and sixth are the most
I
important?
think those are more important. Like I think
That's
the
yeah,
I
because
think
then you're in like rifles and everything.
exactly that sets the cycle for your conditioning. It sets the cycle for your map, like ultimate rotation. You know, like which ults are gonna counter. So because imagine, let's say you're playing Ascent, you know,
Yeah.
default comp versus default comp, and 5th
Mhm.
round is when your cycle activates, where for every KG ult, you're gonna have a solo ult, right?
That's
That
very important.
exactly that makes so much more difference than like you know, let's say if you don't have this ult and every time the KG ult comes out, you're still farming. You know, or you have to save this ult, basically not use it until the KG ult is farmed again, right? That is so much bigger of a difference than the 2 rounds that make pistol, basically. You know,
Yeah.
that's my thinking anyway, and I don't think anyone agrees with me for the most part.
No,
But
I think that's a very. I would agree with you. If you, I've never thought about it like that though.
Mhm.
But I think I would. Yeah, if someone told me that, it makes a lot more sense. Then that is actually very smart.
Mhm.
So you think it's worth farming for orbs a lot more?
yeah, 100%. I mean, it depends on the composition, quite a bit. Like these guys were doing this, like you saw like on a eco versus their bonus, right? These guys went straight for farming the KO ult, which again, I don't think it matters so much for these guys because their ult economy is like their ults are so weak that it doesn't make sense for them to play on ults to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
But
every
there's,
ult
like,
is like quite weak. Like this would have been good, but the fact that it goes like this and not like forward, like you know, the harbor ult, makes it so much
Yeah.
weaker.
And also the problem with EG's team comp is they have nothing really scary.
Exactly.
All that ults are literally just for taking sight.
Yeah. There's so many.
They have what a
KJ
favor for
ult
push
or
plant or pick.
Fade ult, KJ ult, like these guys, these things create so much space. You know, none of these ults
Even
create
Neon,
like good
which takes
space.
like a shit ton of space in itself because most
Exactly.
people don't like pushing Neon ult.
Mhm.
There's a lot more of a scarier team comp, I'd say.
Exactly. Yeah. So for a comp like this, again, like when these guys pushed for, okay, well, you know, it's a eco round against a bonus. Let's play for farming the orb instead. I didn't like that because it doesn't make sense for me to like rely on KO ult for a win condition later. You know.
One last question.
Mhm.
Obviously, with it being 2024 and stuff,
Mhm.
pushing 2025, they said like double Jordan's team comps aren't good because too much util in the game now.
Mhm.
Is that similar for double controllers? Do you think or no?
I don't agree with that. Double duelist comps are not good because a lot of duelists now have a lot more utility. Like I saw Yoru, for example. Yoru is 100% qualifies as a part
Yeah.
initiator, part duelist.
That's what I say, because obviously you can play him as initiator too.
Mhm.
So you can play him as a single or second
Exactly. Yeah.
duelist.
So I don't agree with that because I don't think like that's. Yes, I agree
Yeah.
partially. 100%. There's way more utility in this game than there used to be, and that is creating problems. Like maps like Ascent, for example, are just literally dying because the space is so little and utility gets like so much utility in the game to clear the space. You know.
Yeah.
But duelists, you have to keep in mind, duelists are getting a lot more utility as well. Neon has initiator utility. The stunts that she has, like you know, is like 100%. This is stun. This is wall. You know, like you get like initiator utility, smoker utility partially. So
Yeah, but Neon is basically bullshit at the moment. So
yeah,
all you do is sliding actually one time people.
yeah, I know.
It's really fun.
horrible.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, people said it at the beginning when they made the change, and then people didn't learn how to use it, so everyone just forgot about it. And now that people actually know how to use it,
It's so much.
everyone's losing their mind. Everyone
It's
warned
very
about
fun.
this like at the beginning. Oh yeah, this is such a stupid change. Like, why would you give her sliding inaccuracy or accuracy? But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's where we are.
It's fun to watch people rage at it, I can't lie.
Mhm.
It's also fun to be on the receiving end.
Yeah. I mean, I guess eventually people would learn how to shoot like the sliding neon.
Yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, like I've had a game and like Ascendant,
Mhm.
and like they had a neon that used an Odin
Mhm.
with like full accuracy,
Mhm.
which is just bouncy, 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 put an Odin to the face.
Oh, that's lovely. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop my